Okay, I have almost finished. Oh, my microphone's not on. Hello, hello. Okay, I have almost finished my weaving. You can see here I have a tiny bit left, like this. And we're coming right here. So all we're going to do with this little bit is we are going to do the same thing we've been doing. So I ended up with a B. So I'm going to do the, come back and do an A. B, A, A. And I'm just going to weave it in. And it looks like I can do one more. So like this until I weave it through like that. So we're just weaving it in, and you can kind of tuck it behind with your needle. Just push it behind in the back. All right, now we're going to use our fingers to scoot it down some, like that. All right, now we're going to choose our second color, and I think I'm going to do this yarn. I'm going to let you guys choose some different yarns, and some of them will be thicker. This one's a little bit thicker, so I'm going to have to use my large needle for this one. But first, I almost forgot to measure it. So just like you did before, we're going to measure out your second piece. I would not cut all the pieces first, because then you're going to have to keep up with everybody's different cut yarns. I would wait until you needed it. Okay, so I'm going to thread. This yarn's a little bit fluffier, so if you're having trouble threading the needle, you might need to twist it up a little bit. Okay, or push it through with your other needle, like that. Okay. I'm going to come back right here where I started my last row, because I didn't finish that row. So I'm going to look at what my last stitch was right here. I did an under or an A pattern weave. So on the next row up, I'm going to start with an over. Under, over, under, over, under, over. And just like we did before on the front, we're going to pull it until we get a little tail that's hanging off. And when we're finished, you can kind of tuck it behind or take your needle and weave it inside. Okay, so here we go. That one's over. Oh, that one's over, so I'm going to go under. Over, under, over, under, over, under. And I'm just going to continue weaving. Ugh, I tend to do that when it's longer. And remember, you want to hold your warp thread down so we don't pull it too tight. You don't want it too tight. You just want it tight enough to hold the yarn together. Okay. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And if this is getting in your way, you can take a tiny bit of your tape if you need to and tape it down. But you don't have to do that. See how if I pull it too tight, it's going to pull that. We don't want that. That's why it helps to hold it down. Over, under, over, under. And we're going to keep going until we finish with this color. And then all you're going to do is, just like we did on this last one, weave the end of it into your weaving. So just keep going until you have nothing left. And then tuck the end back behind the woven area. And then start your third color. Once you get towards the end, you may have to loosen up the tail on here, or it'll get tangled in the weaving. So I'm going to keep going so you can see what I'm talking about. I didn't hold it down, so it started to pull in. Over, under, over, under. All right. So you can see is getting stuck right there. My tail's getting stuck. So I need to shorten my tail by pulling it out and shortening what I have on my needle. And keep going, and it looks like I may have enough. Yep, we've got enough to, okay, under, over, under. You kind of have to be careful right here because this needle is so long. All right, that's probably enough. And then we'll go over like that. And then we can push it down and just tuck it back behind there, out of the way, just like that. All right, and then what we can do right here is tuck that behind the weaving also to get that out of the way. You want to do it gently. There, that way it won't be in your way. All right, squish it down. Excuse me. All right, and let's choose our third color. I think I'm going to do a yellow. And just like before, measure your yarn, clip it, I'm going to use a smaller one for this since it's thinner yarn. And here we go. Let's see, my end was right here. So let's look where I began that row. So I went over. So I'm going to start under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Get stuck. Okay. And we're going to pull it through just like this. Leave a little bit of tail that we can tuck in a minute. Over, like that one's an under, so we're going to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And we're just going to keep going until we finish with this color. And I'm going to go ahead and finish mine up. You finish your last two colors, and then when we will come back, I will show you how to finish it up.